Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we are reviewing for the first time ever.
Preacher.
Yeah, season two, the premiere. Um, I know a little bit about the first season, and this is kind of one of them episodes where you can kind of jump into it and really just be like, oh, it wasn't too confusing, you know what I mean? If you
hmm
haven't watched it before, it was cool though. I think Rogan and Evan Goldberg, they directed this one as well because they're like, I guess, the showrunners, the producers, so they got it all together. This is one of them ones where it's like a solid show. I mean, the first, you said you thought the season, you were of the opinion you've heard mixed things. I heard it was pretty good. I think
I
it.
bet
I think it.
I heard it. People were again. Yeah, neither of us seen it. I heard people were hit and miss on the show because they wanted them to get out on the road, which is what they're doing now. Like they wanted them to get to that point. So
Yeah.
sounds to me like we jumped in at the right time.
Um. Yeah. It's a solid thing to kind of adapt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Into.
From what I know of the comic book, it's a road trip thing. I think that's what was bugging a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's maybe because it's on. I mean, it's on AMC. It's not really like. I mean, if it was on like a real main, I know that's like a bad thing to say because I mean AMC's got The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad. I mean, it's got good properties, but it's not like NBC or something like that, is it? Let's be honest. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but the cable networks and Netflix are beginning to take over now anyway, though. I mean, the biggest show on TV is what Game of Thrones.
yeah. Um, so yeah, it kind of starts off there in the car. It's got a good amount of levity. Um, I like it is graphic. I
Yeah,
I
I thought it
like
was
that.
fun. I like the humor. You know, the Dexter's Been Not Running thing comes on. That was fun.
Yeah, it's kind of my thoughts are. I don't want to offend any fans, but like with Seth Rogen, he I'm kind of I think he's kind of matured himself because you've got a lot of people who do like those kind of actors like Adam Sandler and stuff like that, the kind of comedian actors, and they go on to do like make films and do TV shows, and it's always they get rated badly because they always kind of do that the fart jokes and the dick jokes and stuff like that, and it's like,
Right, they get stuck in their sandbox and do the same thing over and over again.
yeah, and
Which in the case of Adam Sandler is particularly frustrating because he's done some dramatic roles down the years and they've all been good.
yeah, so they kind of go around that route and kind of kill it off and stuff like that. So I was kind of a little bit and ahhing, but the levity and the stuff, even the kind of graphic stuff, like when they've got like the intestinal tract hanging out the back of the car and stuff like that. That's the kind of, if you're gonna do uh, that's the kind of humour I like fart and dick jokes and stuff like that. It's like that's way out now. It's like that's why, like, it works on Family Guy and stuff like that. But then when Seth MacFarlane tries to do like a film and does exactly the same, it worked for the first Ted film, I guess, but when you do the exact same thing in the second Ted film, and like that's the basis of your humour, just fart and dick jokes, that's why it's not very well received. Like he did that, A Thousand Ways to Die in the West. It's like that stuff works for Family Guy and cartoons, but if you try and put it in a film, it
Yeah.
bombs.
It's about tone. It's about how you fit it in. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun. I liked how it sort of broke the fourth wall without being completely obvious about it. You know, like the his power about how the girl. What's the girlfriend's name?
Uh, Tulip.
Right, and how she kept on saying that it's cheating, which
Mm.
is kind of some. You know, it's kind of like um the doctor's sonic screwdriver. Like it's an easy get out. Like he could always this dude can solve any problem he has by just using his superpower, and they kind of called it out on the show. I thought that was fun.
All the actors are solid. The three main actors, I mean, they're all pretty damn decent actors. The girl's good. I mean, I'm talking about in other things. She's good in this show, obviously, but she's good. The Cassidy, the actor who plays him, is kind of always done comedic roles. Is funny, and Dominic Cooper's good as well. I mean, they're driving down the road. That "Come On Eileen" song, where they're
Hmm.
going on about how the song's whack, and then like 5 minutes late, like a couple seconds later, they're singing along, and then when the song finishes, it's like, oh, that's a good song. That was funny. That was cool. The whole car chase thing, that was cool as well. The shootout on the road, you got the Saint of Killers. You don't realise they kind of drop that later, but you got him sniping. And when he does the Word of God or whatever, and he's got the guy singing Yellow Rose of Texas and stuff like that, and then all the gunfire's going off, and you have the top of that guy's head get licked off. You have the bullet go through the side of the guy initially, blows his intestine out and stuff like that. That's cool. Him like him with his umbrella, Cassidy with his umbrella, because he's all vampire or whatever, and it's like out of sunlight and it's like burning up, and then when he's underneath the car, and then he puts the guy's head there to stop the car rolling off, and his head just pops. That was cool. Like when he was in the car and the window was getting shattered and the light was like coming through. That was cool. I like it a lot. It's damn good. So yeah, they get cornered after the car chase, and then they're getting shot at. They siphon off fuel with like one of the intestines from some guy. That's the kind of funny humour. They get to a truck stop, and then I guess Cassidy eats the cat.
Yeah.
That was funny. I mean, and then this Saint of Killers is like chasing down Jesse. I get my thing is, how do they kind of, because no one gives it away, but he always seems to be on the right track. Like when he goes to the gas station attendant and is like, oh, he wasn't here and stuff like that, because the Word of God was like, pretend we're never here, and he just rips out his tongue. That's cool.
Yeah, well, you're onto a point though. Like, how is he following them exactly?
I don't know. I know he's like summoned up from hell to like, so is one of them, because people are trying to get Genesis out of him.
Hmm.
So I guess he's one of the guys going there. So they kind of make their way to one of his old preacher friends, I guess, and he's got his
Oh, the girl in the cage. Yeah, that
yeah,
was funny.
as jokes, because initially I thought, oh, is he like kidnapped her or something? But it's like, no, the people of his church bring their kids and or people they know that are like. It's kind of like rehab, but instead of taking them to a rehab facility, he just puts them in a cage and like puts the thing on and stuff like that. Because it's like jokes, like even when Tulip goes over to her at the start, and the girl's like, oh, I need a phone, give me a phone and stuff like that, because she's like, oh. And then later on, where they're like talking and stuff like that, and he opens the door and is like, "Am I going to have to call your parents?" And she's like, "Oh, can I just go on Instagram and stuff like that?" And it's like, no one wants to see you take a picture in a cage. And then Cassidy's like, "Oh, some people like that." And even when there's like a bit where Jess is like thinking, and you see in the background in the fish tank, and like the phone's there vibrating in the
Hmm.
fish tank or bubbling up. That's cool, and it's kind of really well done. I like the shots and stuff like that. I mean, when the car pulls away from the gas station, like spins out, and then the intestine just flops off. That's cool. And then, so yeah, as you can remember, like last season, like God's not in heaven, I guess, is walking among the people of Earth. So Jess is going to find him, and when they talk to the preacher friend, it's like, oh, there's this woman who like apparently saw him. So they're on the trail. They end up going to wherever. I mean, as the Santa Walkers catches up with him, and he ends up juking himself. So yeah, they end up going to a strip club, and then he's trying to get the information out of her. Like, oh, what's this about? And initially they think, oh, he went there because he fell in love with a girl, but apparently it's about the jazz music. Um, and then Cassidy,
Thank God for that, by the way. That was the one bit where I was a bit worried.
yeah,
I'm not going to do a thing about God and some bird, I know, but okay, he likes the music for some reason. I like the way they that he kept referring to his power, and then doing it made it seem like he was going to do something pretty untoward, which made you can argue he was going to do, which freaked out the woman.
Yeah. It was.
And then how did she get shot?
Well, like if you saw on it flashed to the TV screens, and Cassidy, I guess, because he wandered off at the start, he went off to get a lap dance, and then I guess he's touching up the girl, and the girl turned around to the camera like that, and she was like, "Oh, we've got a toucher in room 3." And then I guess he was with the bodyguard, or what, the bodyguard took him out, and then like when he was going on about his power, she started panicking and called for the security guard. You could see on the cameras they were like fighting, Cassidy and the security guard, and they had a gun, and I guess it ended up going off, going through the next room and like hitting her.
Okay.
So that was kind of funny because it was all kind of going on, and it kept flicking between them, and you could kind of see it going off in the background that they were fighting. So it must have been in the next room. The bullet came through and killed her. So yeah, that again was cool. And then yeah, there's a thing going on because apparently Cassidy slept with the girlfriend, and it's like you can tell that's on his mind because he's worried about that. And when he kind of cocks up later on and it leads up to the woman getting shot, they're outside the motel, and it's like, "Oh, sorry about that, I won't let you down again," and stuff like that. So you tell that's on his mind. And then yeah, he's in the hotel room, and that TV advert was coming on about that amazing guy or whatever, and then it's just about to show his face and it doesn't, and then you see in Cassidy's room is watching the TV and the same advert comes on, and there's like a weird thing with the like screen or whatever, so whether that's God or something. And then there's like the girl's like, you know, being kinky, like, "Oh, I'm going into the bathroom and I'm going to lock the door," and then is like, is being a real man who's punching that door down to get his girl, you know what I mean?
That's what men do. Yeah, sure.
That was powerful. I like that scene.
Throw that door with boss.
It was just a great scene.
Have to pay for that though.
I doubt it. He'd just use the word of God, wouldn't he?
Sure.
So I think it was just a great episode. It was a real good premiere. It was just a real good episode. It could have been like anything, any kind of episode, and it would have been good. I mean, it's funny, it's kind of edgy, it's dark, it looks cool. The direction was great. I mean, I can't imagine like I mean, I guess Seth and Evan will probably like do finales and premieres and stuff like that, but I can't imagine them like just popping up and doing random episodes. So whether the direction's like a little different in the next episode or not with a different director, but I think they have like a group of the people who produce and showrun, and they kind of, it's like a tight thing.
That's how TV works. There'll be TV in America is different than it is over here, so they'll produce the overall thing with I think there was 3 of them credited as producers, so they'll run the overall thing, but they'll have a writers' room, and yeah, they'll have different directors and whatnot.
I think there's only like maybe 2 or 3 directors, as opposed to most shows have a different director every episode and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of tight knit and stuff like that. But definitely,
I suppose that's easy to do. I mean, I don't know how. I shouldn't assume, I guess, because I think if The Walking Dead goes for a long ass season, but I would assume this is a shorter thing, like 13 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier to have a smaller amount of directors there than you would on a show like The Flash or something, where you got 23 episodes a year.
It works better because I guess visually, I mean, if you got the same kind of 3 people working on it and stuff like that, visually it's going to be kind of, you know, have the same thing.
Actually, if anything, I think I would argue the different. I mean, yes, you would maintain some sort of consistency, but I think it will give you the opportunity to be a bit more creative with it. The thing is, we're having all those different directors. It's actually kind of slavish because you don't want it looking too different. Every episode will look the same. Almost, I like The Flash, but almost every episode of The Flash looks the same. Kevin Smith comes in and directs an episode of the show, and you know he does a good job. Nothing against him, but it looks like every other episode of the show. Because they have to maintain that same slavish thing over 23 episodes. If you have a smaller amount and a smaller amount of directors, you can actually play things up a bit more, I think.
Okay. So I mean, but we'll see next episode. I mean,
Mhm.
if that's got a different director, we'll see if there's any change in tone, and we will report on it. Let's talk numbers. I'm giving it a 9.
Okay, I'll give it an 8.5. I thought it was fun. I like the characters. I like them calling out some of the crap in the show while still doing it anyway.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, it was a strong start. I really liked it. I don't know about going back to see the first season. Like, if this was the first episode of the show, I would have been a bit more right into explain everything. But otherwise, I think it could have worked.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, overall, it's damn good, and I'm excited to see next episode. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and we'll see you next week. Holla.